The Oscars were last night, and lots of people are talking about the Oscars. It's definitely an Oscars that will go down in history for good reasons and a very bad reason. Let's watch the bad reason first, the Best Picture category.
I'm sorry. No, there's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Oh my gosh. Cringe-worthy. I don't even know what to say. I couldn't even wrap my head around it last night. We were, I was covering it live on CNN. I did not know what to say. We'll get into that. And then I also want to talk about the very good reasons. Diversity definitely won last night. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jimmy Kimmel. We'll talk about some of the political statements, some of the fashion. Lots to discuss, but first thoughts, 5 words or less.
Faye done away with the winner.
Jordan Horowitz was the MVP.
La La Land wins. Psych!
At a loss for words. I don't even know what to say. I don't. Like, anytime I see that playback of that moment, it's just so cringeworthy.
Okay, so
it's like a car accident. Like, you
really
want to
hard
watch,
to
but you can't watch.
So here's the question: is which moment is it for you guys? Because now, having watched it back X amount of times, the moment for me is when you see Warren Beatty, like, not really sure that he's reading the right thing, and instead of saying, "Hey, I think I had the wrong card," Faye Dunaway, a consummate Hollywood professional, a seasoned, like, you just go on with the show. Like, you guys know, like, from like Bonnie and Clyde, and then also from Mommy Dearest, like Faye, oh my God. She just like looks it over, sees La La Land, and she's like, I got this, La La Land. That to me is like the cringiest moment. And then I think actually how the filmmakers the producers of La La Land handled it, given what they were dealing with, was really commendable and respectable.
Just the producer, one of them.
Everyone else had their heads up their asses. They didn't know what to do. And
right,
he just
I mean, I can
the whole joke thing, like, and I like the moment where he was saying,
this is not
a joke, it's not a joke, and you're looking at how everyone's reacting, and Jimmy Kimmel's out there. That was the most cringeworthy moment for me.
That was for me too.
God,
I thought all of it was brilliant, actually.
You were at home drinking your tea.
No, I like.
Yeah, sipping.
It was. You're right. It was definitely cringeworthy, guys. Because one, on a very global stage, you have this major F up, and then also Warren Beatty saying, "Let's just give it to them anyways, give it to La La Land anyways," after Moonlight's been read as the winner, and then furthermore, for the win to go that far left as far as the movie that won, they were all fantastic movies, and Moonlight was a great movie, but I thought Jordan Horowitz, correct? Yeah. I thought the way he handled it was superb because
so good.
He was rooting for them too, and it wasn't like he was an Academy employee or an Academy affiliate. He was one of the producers of La La Land. He's like, listen, this is for our friends. Moonlight, you won the Best Picture.
Hell
he was just as excited for them.
I was so happy to see Moonlight win because yes, it's a win for diversity. Yes, you have an all-black cast, but you have a film too that's, you know, it struggles with showcasing sexual identity, addiction, also how a community can raise one person. But it showed that that people are interested in that, right?
And
because
it was just such a good film.
And a $1.5 million budget, but most people would have not thought that Hollywood or the consumer would have been interested in that type of a theme within a film. And it was beautiful, but also we're going to get into all that. But I do want to. I should have updated you guys this first. So this just in. Price Waterhouse Coopers, okay? So that is the accountancy, like the firm that handles all of the Oscar, the counting ballots for 83 years. Wow.
The ad agency for Mad Men.
I thought since 1983. No, for 83 years. I read it wrong the first time. That's incredible. So for 83 years, so they're the ones that are admitting that this is their fault. They apologized. They also issued an apology to Warren Beatty and to Faye Dunaway, to La La Land, to Moonlight. And they are now going, according to this article in The Guardian, they are going to investigate further why that envelope was placed in Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway's hands.
I have some speculations on why, because I was very fascinated with this going down as well. Because initially when I saw it, thought that perhaps there was like a PA or an intern that messed up, which I think a lot of times when you don't know about the goings-on of a show, maybe you'd assume like, oh, I'm sure it's a lower level thing, and it was just, you know, a slip up and someone wasn't paying attention, they were excited for the end of the show. But actually, there are 2 people that are in charge of these 2 briefcases. They have to take secret routes separate from each other to get to the award ceremony. It's all very under lock and key, and the 24 envelopes are kept, there are 2 sets of 24 envelopes with the exact same results that are kept under, in these briefcases. And one thing that really stuck out to me is that they don't know why there are 2 sets of briefcases. I guess sort of like a check and balance system. But they pull the envelopes from one briefcase and the other briefcase is on standby. So I think that what may have occurred is that there was a mix-up in the order of who was taking from what briefcase for whatever reason, and so someone pulled the envelope that they thought was the final envelope, but was really the envelope from the award before. So it wasn't like an already opened envelope for Emma Stone that she had just won, because she had hers.
And you saw her out afterwards, right? You saw her kind of out everything on her her follow-up speech. She said, you know, she was stirring the pot a little bit, but I like that she was being transparent. That's Emma Stone. She's just calling it like it is. In her mind, she was saying, I have my card, so I don't know what story they're telling, but supposedly there's duplicates.
Yeah, there are.
And I don't think she knew that. Yeah. She did not know that. So she was confused why they were saying why they had that card, because she thought she had the sole card.
It's kind of ironic because the whole thing about the security of the cards and everything, they actually had a gag about it last year on the Oscars, if you guys remember, where they brought out one of the people that bring the cards, and he had a briefcase with like,
and it's handcuffed to it.
Right? Yeah, and they were just kind of like showing like, look how big our security is for this. And
well, this was a huge
I think Barry
Jenkins'
response, though, to when after he got on stage, what he said was, you know, we didn't choose this to happen. You guys chose this, the public or the Academy. Thanks for making the right choice.
Yeah.
That to me was like, boom.
Yeah, but, wow, Barry Jenkins, the whole cast. I think without a doubt, I could not imagine Moonlight not winning last night. Because I saw all the films. I saw every single one of the films.
Yeah. I was ready for La La Land to win too, and I was like, yeah, it's bullshit.
You can't even compare the two. I loved La La Land. I thought it was a great escape.
They're all winners at the end.
Right.
If you're
100%.
Nominated at that stage, at that level?
Most people, you're looking at like the chatter and social media, and there's some people are saying that this overshadows Moonlight's win.
A little bit.
It does. It's not fair, because the questions that the cast and the crew of Moonlight should be answering on these follow-up interviews shouldn't be about this debacle. It should be about how fantastic their film is. But at the same time, other people are pointing out, and this is kind of like a negative, but I understand what they're saying. They're pointing out that because this is such a big controversy in history, that people are always going to remember the movie, or it may push people to go see the movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that it all depends on how is the glass half empty or is the glass half full?
They deserved it.
Exactly. And also, can we give an honorable mention to Ryan Gosling? I want to know the conversations that happened in the limos going home, because Moonlight was a package deal. Everyone thought Ryan and Emma were going to win. Ryan Gosling, to me,
a lot of people thought Denzel was going to win.
Yeah. Okay, so hold that thought, because Ryan, to me, I feel like he probably felt a little like, damn, you know, this sucks that Emma Stone, I got my Oscar. I'm sorry, suckers. Like, you know, and then for them not to win Best Picture, I probably felt like Ryan Gosling was like, well, that's what you guys get for not having me win Best Actor.
I don't know. I feel like Ryan is so sort of above
me too.
The Hollywood culture. Like, he doesn't really, I don't think he really buys into it that much. So I think, I mean, especially when they would cut to shots of him, anytime they'd be like, Ryan, like, you were so talented, he'd always be like, me? Like,
let's look at the, I agree with you, let's look at the winners list. So we know Moonlight, Best Picture. Way to go, Moonlight.
Yeah,
way to go. That's
well deserved.
Well deserved. Such a beautiful movie. If you've not seen it yet, go see it. Actor in a leading role, Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea. Now, a lot of people on social media were upset because of those sexual harassment allegations. So even though he won the Oscar, there was pushback on social media.
It's fucking bullshit. He got nominated, that should be enough. You can give it to any of those other actors that did a phenomenal job.
Andrew Garfield, Denzel Washington.
Did you see Denzel's
Why would you give
face,
it to
though?
the sexual
when Casey Affleck was giving his speech. I don't know if Denzel looked like he was gonna cry.
He did look definitely very emotional.
Very emotional.
And we noticed that too in the viewing party that I was at, that he looked very emotional, and we weren't really sure why. Because he was given a shout out by Casey Affleck, so maybe it was sort of just been his gratitude. I don't know.
Or he could have been mad at how...
But also notice that a lot of people are making something on social media of Brie Larson, who also gave Casey Affleck the Golden Globe, didn't clap for him when he got his award. And it seems as though, although I don't know that she's spoken anything to this effect, that she is clued in and is very aware of the controversy surrounding Casey Affleck during this most recent award season. And I think that her way of showing solidarity, because, you know, given that she won last year, she's the one having to present these awards, is just being super neutral on when she's been having to give him 2 awards. So that's interesting. It could be nothing. It could just be that's how she is on stage, but people are definitely making some sort of assessment on her behavior.
I was more offended at how Casey Affleck looked. He looked like he needed a shower and a shave bad.
But
only I could say that, I'll checker.
Okay, actor in a supporting role, Mahershala Ali. This is the first Muslim actor to win an Oscar, so another big win for diversity. Really exciting.
He's amazing. His speech was so good.
Very good.
So good.
I love him. And everything he's played in since I saw him first in The Place Beyond the Pines.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's great on House of Cards.
Yeah. And he was also in Hidden Figures.
Yeah. And he just had a girl like 3 days ago.
He just had a daughter a few
The male
days ago.
actors
This guy is the busiest man.
Deb Patel,
now.
Michael Shannon, that was a stacked category too. So they all, I thought, delivered great performances. But yeah, I would say Mahershala Ali, he definitely made a drug dealer feel human and kind and real.
They didn't fall into the same cliches that you're so used to.
Also, the men of Moonlight are now the faces of Calvin Klein's 2017 underwear campaign. You should see it.
Love.
Grown-up Chiron's
Throw
giving you...
up a picture of
Grown-up
this.
Chiron is
giving you body karate.
Actress in a leading role went to Emma Stone in La La Land. I thought she did great, but I did get to see Isabelle Huppert in Elle. Oh my God, because I know when we talked about the nominees before, even though she's a very prominent actress internationally, she's done like 100 and some films, I was not aware of her.
She's like an unknown in the U.S.
Yeah. She is an unknown in the U.S., and I hate saying that because when you see this movie, oh my God, so many layers, flawless, I don't think that there was a comparison.
Is that the
with
French
her.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah, there was not a comparison with her and the other actresses, in my opinion, at all. Even though Nicole Kidman killed it, I thought Emma Stone killed it, but then you watch her.
Nicole Kidman wasn't nominated.
Oh, Nicole Kidman.
I think you're thinking of Natalie Portman.
No, I know Natalie Portman. Nicole Kidman did kill it, but she was not nominated.
Right.
I would say Nicole Kidman got a snub. Natalie Portman was fantastic too. But
Amy Adams, I think, got snubbed.
I thought Amy Adams got snubbed.
And Taraji got snubbed too. I feel like
Taraji would have been supporting actress
or even best actress because in Hidden Figures, if you've seen it, her storyline to me was the most powerful, especially the bathroom scene where she. Have you guys all seen Hidden Figures yet?
Yes.
I mean. It's just so
I
weird
agree.
how...
I need to.
Okay, we got to go down the list. Viola Davis in Fences. Again, no comparison in my opinion.
But people are, she is receiving backlash for her speech.
Why?
That was the most heartfelt He's right about that. I thought her speech was phenomenal.
All right, break it down. What
because
happened?
She said that actors are the only profession that celebrates life. And so a lot of people are saying, Viola, that's a little elitist because are you saying doctors don't celebrate life?
People are reading too much into it. She's at the Oscars. She just won an award for her art.
Those are not my opinion.
Yeah, I
think she was fantastic. I think she was well deserved.
Save lives, but they don't go and like act dead people's lives.
I thought her acceptance speech was phenomenal. Animated feature, Zootopia, cinematography, La La Land. I thought the cinematography in La La Land was phenomenal. But then again, you watch Moonlight. You're watching an an incredible art project.
Yeah, it felt like
an installation.
Stanley Kubrick,
Yes. The colors. So I was a little disappointed in the cinematography when, even though I thought La La Land did a great job. And then we have directing, Damien Chazelle, La La Land. Now that bothered me too. I thought that that's a really hard film to direct with the choreography and the dancing and the singing, so he deserves it. But then when you learn, we talked about this before, Barry Jenkins, when he cast his 3 actors to play that lead role, he made sure that none of them met each other. He made sure that none of them watched each other's performances, and they're all playing the same person, so you need them to connect. Yeah. You need them to look like the same person. It was based solely on his directing, because when you watch Moonlight,
that's crazy.
You think it's the same person, the way that they move their eyes, the way that they move their face, the way they don't talk, the way they don't talk, their mannerisms. Yeah. That's all him, because the actors never met, never watched each other's footage. That's all Barry Jenkins. So because I knew that tidbit, I was like, how could he have not won Best Director? Plus, Best Picture and Best Director, you know, notoriously over time, they usually are, they indicate one another's wins. But I still think that Damien Chazelle did a great job.
He's incredibly talented.
Incredible.
He's 32 years old. Like, that's
youngest ever.
Youngest ever.
Youngest ever. Best foreign language film, The Salesman. Now this is important because, and I apologize if I mispronounce this,
Asghari.
Say it?
Asghari.
Asghari.
Yeah, Farhad Asghari.
I have it is like that.
Asghar Farhad, yeah.
Yeah. So you had it reversed.
Yeah, I had it reversed.
Okay, so Amir,
I'm not a real Persian.
Farhadi,
I'm a dyslexic Persian.
He's a dyslexic Persian, but Asghar Farhadi, you know, this was like the silence is golden moment. You know, the Iranian filmmaker, this is his second win, and he decided not to come in respect for his people because of the travel ban. And he had the most incredible woman come up and deliver kind of like his sentiment, his speech, and she was the first Iranian woman, American, to be in space. And she read it, and I thought it was great because it was all about inclusion.
Yeah.
It wasn't divisive at all. He was standing up for his people, but he spoke about inclusion.
Yeah,
and I thought that was awesome.
It was great. It was very well done.
I agree with you guys. I really enjoyed that speech. I also really enjoyed the sort of the conservative meltdown following the speech on Twitter, because I watch it and then you see on Twitter just like, go back to just stupid. Like, are you watching the same thing? The only thing I'll say about that speech, I wish that she had memorized more of it, because it was so powerful that it's the sort of thing I wish could have been delivered more to camera. But that's like the showbiz person talking.
She might be nervous. She's
right.
She's,
I mean, I understand why she read it.
She's an astronaut.
I know. I understand why she read it, but there was part of me that was like, these are so powerful what she's saying. I hope that, because in the room that I was in, people were tuning out because like, oh, she's reading it, I don't care. And I was like, no, listen. But I think that like
today you're right. But today
there's a way to like deliver an acceptance speech, which sucks. It shouldn't be a thing that you have to do.
But it's powerful. But
it's not rocket science.
Good one, Amir. But there is videos today that are circulating where it has the quotes of her speech, and that's powerful because then you can sit there and read it. It's very effective.
I felt like a recurring theme throughout the whole night was that art brings out the truth, and that's what we're trying to all go for. And it resonates a lot today because with all the fake news, with everything that's going on in our politics, people don't give a shit about the truth anymore. And that's reminding everyone the truth is what matters. That's what we're trying to do with good filmmaking.
Universal truths about the human condition. I think that's sort of what Viola Davis was getting at. When you look at these performances, the ones that really resonated with us is because they touch us for their compassion and for their empathy, and that's the sort of work that humans, like we are inherently predisposed, I think, to identify with and to feel for. So that's what I think
a lot of empathy.
The truth is here at the core of it. It's less political than, as far as like a specific administration than I think people make it out to be. I think it's way more speaking to universal truths and universal humanity. And so how can you be mad at that?
Liberal, like, why?
Humanity. Gael Garcia Bernal. That was, he went up there to give
the wall.
Yeah, and he wasn't accepting an award, but he gave up there to give an award. And in his presentation, he brought up how he is a migrant worker, he is a Latin American, he's a Mexican, but above all else, he's a human being. And that he believes that the wall is dividing people. And again, the small moments of any type of politics being brought into the Oscars, I thought was really effective because again, to me, it was all about inclusion. You never saw anything really divisive. You saw very subtle moments with attire too, like Ava DuVernay wore a dress from a Lebanese designer. That whole firm and fashion house is in Lebanon, a predominantly Muslim country. That's why she wore it. You saw Ruth Negga wearing her little ACLU ribbon.
Lin-Manuel Miranda as well.
So those were like really great, powerful moments.
I think that's what, let's bring up Tommy Lawrence, I can't stand her, but I think when how she made Beyonce feel, she said, how dare that these people do this on the world stage. I think places like the Oscars is the perfect place to have a message. And also actors are brilliant, brilliant people. They're wordsmiths, they know how to use their words. And I think that is, when we've been talking about the responsibility of celebrities to protest and to use their reach, I think last night was a very, very great example on how to tastefully, tactfully, and perfectly get a message across without being ridiculous, without needing to go to extremes.
I agree.
And also, Emma Stone, but I know we're talking about inclusion and a lot of serious topics here, but I really liked Emma Stone's speech, her acceptance speech, because she said this Oscar was just a step on her journey. You know, some people
I have a lot to learn. She said,
exactly, like some people win an Oscar, and then you're like, what? Like Monique won an Oscar. Where have we seen Monique? You know, and Emma's like, I'm just here growing and learning, and it made her so much more relatable. And I have to say, guys, I am so sorry that I wasn't on the La La Land bandwagon, because after last night, I saw the magic into why the movie, because I've seen it 3 times.
It is magical, and it's an escapism in this crazy-ass political climate right now. Totally
and
is.
it's nice to see these people like that are just such winners humble themselves in front of everyone.
I agree. Writing adapted screenplay, Moonlight, very exciting. Writing original screenplay, Manchester by the Sea. So it was, everybody was using the hashtag #OscarsSoWrite. It was a great Oscars last night. And what did you guys think about Jimmy Kimmel?
I thought he was a great host. I hope he comes back. The bits that he was doing about Matt Damon, their friendship, their rivalry.
I love it.
Are they real? So are they really good friends in real
They
life?
have to be.
Yes.
He looked like very annoyed.
No,
it's
like
he couldn't handle the fire.
when he's like Ben Affleck and guest.
And or the music, when he started talking, they were trying. The music
So
was
good.
great.
And then having like the Hollywood tour bus.
Was that real?
That was definitely real.
They say it was real.
Don't look into Ryan Gosling's eyes. That was funny.
I'm gonna go with it's real, and I love even like his digs in the beginning, like the little political digs. They were very tongue in cheek. I think if anything, they were more at the expense of Mel Gibson than Donald Trump. But it was like there's something about Jimmy Kimmel where you laugh it off, and even Mel Gibson, he really sincerely.
Mel Gibson was having a blast.
He was, and that's
for an insane person, he was having a blast.
That's a testament.
I don't know where he was, but he was loving it.
That's also a testament, I think, to the delivery of Jimmy Kimmel. He just comes off not threatening, not mean-spirited, and
he's like in with the party. It's not like he is, I'm hosting the Oscars. I'm here, we're having a party.
Yeah.
You know, like he's in on the bit the whole time.
But he feels relatable. I feel like he's in on the bit, but he's also like on our side.
And he looks
great. And there shouldn't be sides, but you know what I mean? Like it
reminded me of old school days of like Billy Crystal.
Total Billy Crystal.
Yep.
Yeah. It is a Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, like candor to him, and it works for the Oscars.
Sam, were you disappointed that 13 didn't win for documentary?
I was, and I tweeted about that. Even though I do think O.J. Simpson Made in America is great, because you do, I watched that documentary too, you really do see how the racial tensions did play in that courtroom and how they used it, and then also the crazy celebrity culture, and it was a very important documentary, especially for the 90s. But 13th, man. If you have not seen 13th, see 13th. It is eye-opening. It should be in the curriculum of every school out there.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. I was just assuming that you
garbage
haven't seen any.
I wanted to see 13th win. Any others, like disappointments, surprises, all in all?
I believe it or not, I thought that Glenn Close, Meryl Streep, should have won for Florence Foster Jenkins.
She's unbelievable.
Right.
20 nominations. Did you know that?
But here's the thing about the ones that don't win, though. It's like American Idol. When people don't win, that doesn't mean that. Like Ava DuVernay and Barry Jenkins. I mean, even though now the public, like Lee Daniels with Precious, now the public they have a new platform to give us even better work and to push their agenda and to push their creativity forward. So the Oscars is always a win-win for these people, because you may not have got the statue, but now you're in the consciousness of everyone, and that says something.
It's about the recognition,
exactly,
up there, that you worked so hard.
And they are making strides. I know with Oscars So White, the last 2 years, it's been in everybody's mindset. And I know that the Academy, they welcomed 700 new members of their 6,000. More diverse, but still, even with their more diverse members, before it was like 97% white, now it's 90 or 89. Before it was like 70 or 80% male, now it's 73% male. So there's still a long way to go. It's still a white male's town, it is. And a lot of some of the interviews that I was watching, a lot of the actors of all color are calling for screenplays to be about ordinary people, meaning if you're going to cast any actor of color, it shouldn't be because it's a black movie.
We talked about that.
We did. It should be, just like with Fences, it's an ordinary couple.
Exactly.
That's what was so phenomenal about that story. You're looking at an ordinary couple, not like this timeline from like history, and you need to cast a black cast.
Right.
So I love that people were talking about that, though, on the red carpet. Things are changing. My point is things are changing.
Some people still feel, though, and I mean, after our video where we talked about this exact thing, people felt like, no, I do think that there needs to be black cinema that's for black people, and
it's both though. You can have
absolutely, but at the end of the day, as long as they're great movies, that's what matters.
There's still, I feel like, no recognition for Asian actors to some degree.
That's next.
The whitewashing in Hollywood still to this day, and even Jimmy Kimmel brought it up with Matt Damon, like the ponytail.
Oh my God.
It's just there's
the
still
Great Wall.
There's still a long way to go, but there's
$80 million.
Strides.
Yeah.
Lost $80
Hopefully,
million.
every year we do this, it gets better.
Yeah, hopefully we don't backtrack, right? Hopefully this is a right step in the right direction.
Aren't you glad? I'm so glad award season's over, though. It's exhausting, man.
Dude, I was at CNN last night from like 7 to like 2 in the morning, so tired. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but during the day,
I was there too.
But I'm pregnant, and during the day, you're still prepping.
I didn't get me on camera, but I was there.
So even though you think, oh, 7 to 2, that's not that big of a deal, but you're prepping all day, and then you're live for this amount of time, and you go home, and then it takes a little bit to wind down.
And then they cut out everything you said, and only Sam makes the broadcast.
So tired.
And it's like, oh my God.
But it's exhausting. The whole award season is exhausting.
Yeah.
But I like that it's not just...
we can all take a nap now, so...
Yes, I'm going to go home and take a nap.
And that's what we're going to do now. Guys, thanks so much for watching Pop Trigger.
Please. We missed Grace. I'm so glad you're back, Grace. Grace is laying down. Can we go to a wide shot?
Just share your thoughts in the comment section below. And we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.